TikTok dating advice. Is it sound? That's what we're here to find out. Hey guys, it's Daniel, licensed therapist. I'm not on TikTok, but while browsing YouTube, I catch some compilations here and there. And to be fair, compilations are probably made up of the most salacious, clickbaity ones, but it seems like there's a lot of craziness on TikTok. But there are these people giving out relationship advice. And is it any good? That's why you have your guy here to help you figure it out. I am here for you. We will be measuring this advice against my opinion as a licensed therapist who knows the research on relationships, as a happily married man, and as a relationship master. All these clips are from one person, a girl named Saharu. So let's see what she has to say.
Been saying this to the guys too, but ladies, we can't be talking about dudes we find attractive at all. Like, even to your guy best friend, do not talk about it. Every guy's told me that is the last thing they want to hear. Spam calling them like...
I agree. I just feel like, it shows the lack of commitment when you say stuff like that. And according to John Gottman, commitment is one of the most important parts of a relationship. So, gotta agree on this one.
Psychotically, because you think it's fun to be toxic and you think they're going to be more into you because you're acting toxic. It doesn't work. Yeah, that's how you get blocked. 0 out of 10.
I agree again. But this one, I feel like it's obvious. I mean, maybe not obvious to everyone, but yes, don't be toxic. Don't spam call. Don't text a million times. I think it shows a level of insecurity that I believe that we're programmed to want to avoid. So I agree. Don't do that.
Sure, men can pick up heavy things, but you know what they can't pick up? Hints. They cannot pick up hints for the life of them, okay? You need to just be direct. When it comes to dudes, do not be dropping hints left and right because they will not get them whatsoever and you will be butthurt. So just be direct and you'll get a response.
I agree with this one as well. I've seen this belief out there that if someone loves you, that they will automatically know what you want or what you need. And if they don't, that means they don't love you. And it's simply just not true. So yes, people, let's communicate. Let's over communicate and we can have our needs met. It's so simple.
Nothing pisses them off more than things like, I'm fine. I don't know. I don't care. Yeah. Ladies, these are tips I have for you when it comes to pulling guys. Again, this is just what I've personally noticed. You don't have to listen to me if you do not want to, but it works. And boys, let me know what you think. You need to start shooting your shot without shame, okay? DM guys, tell them you think they're cute, whatever the fuck. I don't care. Y'all need to understand how much power we actually hold. If you just shoot your shot with a guy, you have like a 99% success rate. Like, guys love when girls shoot their shot. Power of physical
Okay, I don't know if I agree with this one. But I don't necessarily disagree either. Personally, I'm just like an old-fashioned guy. And I believe the guy should have the cojones to just pursue the girl. But these days, maybe women have to do that. They have to shoot their shot and pursue the guy. I don't know. So I'm kind of like a maybe on this one.
touch, okay? Most guys' love language is physical touch. So use that to your advantage, honey. Okay, obviously there's a line that we don't cross. I'm not trying to get y'all restraining orders, but a little dibble dabble here and there, they'll love it. Start asking him questions about himself. Get him to talk about himself enough, and I promise you he will start gaining an interest in you, okay? Because guys are usually the shooters, meaning they're the ones asking you about yourself, and they rarely get asked about themselves. So when you give them that opportunity to be vulnerable, they love it.
Okay, I agree with these two, and I agree with physical touch, and I agree with, talking to a guy and asking questions. But I think the benefit of asking questions and allowing him to talk is really getting to know him. And John Gottman says that the foundation of a relationship is knowing the other person. So in asking questions and talking to them and allowing them to talk, you're strengthening the foundation of your relationship. And I feel like she's saying use the conversation as a way of attracting a guy, which sounds a little dubious, maybe a little manipulative. It sounds like there's an ulterior motive. And I don't know, maybe just talk to him, see if he's an axe murderer or something before you want to try to attract him.
I consider a red flag in other people's relationships. Like, if they're doing these, I'm convinced their relationship is hanging by a motherfucking thread. Disclaimer, this is just my opinion, so if you're like, oh my god, this is me and my boo, then don't take it too seriously, it's not that deep. I think we can all agree when they're always posting each other on the socials, like every week, it's like our 1 week anniversary, blah blah blah, and their birthday, that massive fucking paragraph being like, you cheated on me a million times, but I still stuck around because I love you so much. Those are the toxic ones. So I saw a tweet about this once and it changed my entire mindset towards it. The more they call each other babe, the more fucked up their relationship is. And I've seen this in every couple that has used the word babe excessively. The ones that are like, babe, 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 are like borderline breaking up every week. Those couples that like borderline fuck in public all the time, like you'll be hanging out with them and they're just like making out, fucking eating each other's necks and you're just like, what is going on? There's some shit going on. I don't trust those motherfuckers. You're welcome.
Okay, red flags. Yeah, I wouldn't consider any of those red flags. I don't know. I mean, those things may be a little weird, but I don't really agree with them being red flags. I would say more of the spam calling and texting are red flags, more so than these. So, yeah, I kind of don't disagree, or I don't agree with this one.
Disagree with me, but I just gotta say it, okay? If a person likes you enough, nothing you do will be seen as weird or cringy or a turn off to them. Here's some examples. If a person you like is constantly texting you all day, every day, you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is amazing, I love this. But if you don't like them enough, it's gonna come off as clingy and annoying. Someone you like is constantly making physical touch with you, it's like hot and like spicy, But if you're not into them enough, then it's creepy. If the person you like does a grand gesture, it's romantic and amazing and you love it. But if you don't like them enough, it's embarrassing and weird. How I Met Your Mother fans might recognize this as the Dobler-Dahmer theory. These are...
Yes, I agree with this one. I think it's good, Shout out to How I Met Your Mother. A lot of truth came out of that show.
Some things guys wish girls understood. Boys, feel free to let me know if I've made a mistake. They're so compliment deprived. Like, they never get compliments. So if you compliment them, it will mean the absolute world to them. And they'll probably never forget it. So take this as your sign to compliment a guy. I don't even know how...
Okay. Wow. I could not agree more with this one. And, it's always been one of my beliefs that young men are treated very poorly in society, having been, and maybe still am, a young man. And I didn't realize this until I had my first kid. And, I had him in a carrier and I was walking around and I noticed that people were smiling at me. And this one lady looked me in the eye, smiling. She said, "Hi, how are you doing?" And I was like, what are you doing? What do you mean? Why are you being so nice to me? And I realized it's because I had this baby. And then I subsequently realized, hey, I wasn't treated like this at all before I had this baby. So I totally agree with complimenting guys. They probably don't get a lot. And I've read a lot of Reddit forums where guys remember like the one compliment they got years ago and it just was so impactful to them. So yeah, I think it could really be effective. So I do agree, compliment guys.
this is possible, but apparently guys have the ability to think about nothing. Like, they can just make their mind go blank. Sounds impossible, right? But they can do it. So if you ask a guy what he's thinking about and he says nothing, odds are he's telling the truth. When a guy's in a relationship, he needs constant reassurance that you still care about him, because they have this fear inside them that tells them that she's losing interest, she doesn't like you anymore, whatever. They freak out. Ladies, this...
Okay, it depends on the guy, right? There's all kinds of guys out there, and I'm sure a lot of them would freak out if you are, not always telling them how into them you are. But I would say find a secure guy, because constantly reassuring a guy, it sounds just tiresome. Like, who wants to do that? So, ideally, you wouldn't have to do that. Just reassuring a guy over and over. I mean, I feel like they should just know.
This is how you know if a guy is flirting with you. Disclaimer, I'm mainly speaking from personal experience. This is just what I've seen and personally taken note of. So dudes, let me know if I've made a mistake. Laughing is the biggest tell that a guy is hitting on you, okay? Because listen, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not that funny. And suddenly, you become an award-winning fucking comedian because every sentence you say, they're like giggling at it. So if he's laughing, he's interested. An obvious one is him complimenting you, okay? If he is complimenting you, baby, he's flirting with you. Okay, a little contradictory here, but like teasing. Teasing is like a fucking weird ass love language to them. I know they take it way too far sometimes, but if he's teasing you, it's usually a good thing. He's gonna try to impress you, okay? Like talking about his job or like cool things he owns, whatever it is. Sometimes they might come off a little cocky, but for the most part, if they're trying to upsell themselves to you, they're into you. Ladies.
Oh, sure. You know, these are ways that guys try to impress girls, you know, and I don't think it's that hard to know if a guy's interested. Maybe it's just me, but, you know, a guy doesn't really give a lot of attention to girls that they're just not interested in. So, you know, the thing is, guys can be interested in a lot of girls at the same time. And guys can flirt with a bunch of different girls. So knowing whether they want to be in a committed relationship is a whole other thing. But interest, I think that's pretty easy.
You're like, oh my god, I don't know how to flirt. Let me give you some tips on how to flirt with just your body language. Disclaimer, I'm not saying I'm the flirt motherfucking master because I'm not. This is just what works for me. So take some notes and boys, let me know what you think. Eyes, baby. The power of your fucking eyes. Use those. Use them real good. Okay, you know what you do? Tilt your little head down. Look into their soul. Stare into their soul. Do not break eye contact once. That is for the weak, okay? Look into their soul and just bat your little eyelids while they talk. Power. We've mastered the art of the fake laugh, okay? Now it's time to use it for some good. So while he's telling you something, whatever it is, just like giggle a little bit. Throw in a little giggle, but not just any giggle. Throw a little physical touch in there too. So whether it's their arm, their chest, you'd be like, ah, that's it. You don't understand how much power that touch just had. Move closer, scoot over, walk over, tilt your head in a little bit. I don't care. Show them you're intrigued by the conversation by moving a little closer.
You know, body language is a huge thing. It's an external representation of what's going on internally. And you see this so much in couples therapy. I mean, some couples sit next to each other and, you know, maybe one person has their arm around each other or they're holding hands and you know they have a good connection. And I kid you not, I've had clients who sit on the opposite side of the couch and they're like, their body language is turned away from each other. And that's how I know that I've got some work to do.
This is why talking stages and dating in general with this generation is so complicated because you need to be interested but not too interested. You need to be flirty but not too flirty. You need to be chill and be distant but not too distant. You need to hang out but not too much. Like everything you do is just a massive gray area. You can't be too much of anything. Like it's so inauthentic, so not real, and it's like how does it ever go anywhere from that? You have to assume that it's never going to go anywhere, and you're not allowed to want it to go anywhere either because then you're doing too much. It's a mess.
I have no idea what she's talking about here.
Girls, listen to me. If you want to say something that'll just get any guy going because it's so hot, like we already know the classic daddy, we already know the classic just say their name, but listen closely. If you say this, it will ruin his life, okay? Hey, yo, the person that sent you this wants you to know we need to get the gang back together. Listen.
I don't know what that means either.
Me real close, baby, because here's the thing. Embarrassment isn't a real thing. Embarrassment comes with shame. And if you don't have any shame towards something you did, then it wasn't embarrassing. So anyone can run around and be like, oh my god, that was so embarrassing. But if you don't feel any type of way towards it, it was not embarrassing. You ever think about the fact that what we...
You know, I amen to that. You know, embarrassment is just a specific response to something. And I often try to implant this thought of who cares in my clients. You know, so yes, this one, I totally agree. I mean, who cares?
Consider a talking stage right now was just flat out dating in like 2010, 2005, 2000, like going on dates, talking all the time, hooking up. Back then, that meant you were in a relationship. Now it's like you do that shit for fucking 6 months and it's all, what are we? Like, I'm not ready to be exclusive. All this shit, like, what the fuck? These are...
So I've been out of dating for a while, but is that what dating is like these days? That is nuts. It sounds like someone who's afraid of commitment. And let me tell you, if they're not ready to commit, then just don't be in a relationship with them.
Some signs that someone is about to ghost you. This may make some of you really sad, but it's all based on research, so like, don't shoot the messenger. Text and any type of messages are gonna be coming in shorter and taking way longer to arrive. So maybe you'll get like a 2-word answer every 5-6 hours. You're gonna feel like you're a bother to this person. So anytime you wanna reach out or anytime you say something, you just feel like you're annoying them. you bring up future potential plans, dates, whatever, they will either be dismissive of it or just like have a really negative attitude towards it. You're gonna find yourself making a lot of excuses for why they're acting a certain type of way. So if they haven't texted you all day, you're gonna be like, oh, they're probably just really busy. No, they're about to ghost you. Here's a little reminder that you are probably...
Okay. Yeah, ghosting sucks. It's a weak move. Don't do that. And I agree with what she's saying.
The only one noticing these things. If you feel like you're looking a little bloated some days, I promise you're the only one that sees it. Moles, stretch marks, scars, whatever little insecurities you've got, 99% of the time, people only notice it once you point it out. If you can't remember embarrassing things other people have done, most likely they can't remember embarrassing things you've done. So those things that like haunt you and keep you up in the middle of the night being like, oh my God, that was so embarrassing, you're the only one who remembers or cares. I don't know who the fuck needs to hear.
Okay, yes, I agree with this. And this sort of falls under the who cares and don't be embarrassed messages from before. And I love this message because it has a lot to do with, you know, what I do with my clients and in order to get rid of insecurity, right? And people just spend too much of their mental energy and emotional energy on things that don't matter. So yeah, I agree. And scars are cool.
This, but you don't need to love yourself before getting in a relationship, because how do you expect anyone to love you if you can't love yourself? You need to love yourself so that when you do get in a relationship, you will know when you are being disrespected. You are going to know when you are being mistreated, and you are going to know your boundaries and have them set in place. And if they're not being met, you will walk away. But if you don't love yourself, if you don't respect yourself, you're going to be putting up with so much toxicity and so much shit that you don't deserve. So I'm telling you right now, focus on you, work on valuing yourself and respecting yourself, and then get in a relationship so that when you are in it, you are always looking out for you.
Wow, I agree with this 100%. And, you know, I don't think I could have said it better. And, you know, this is really one of the key things I do with my clients. So props to Saharu. She gave great advice, you know. And, you know, I just want to say that people often worry about how to have a good relationship. And I always tell them that, kind of like what she's saying, it's their self-worth and their self-respect that will actually guide them. You know, we're in the process of something, you know, processing something that happened to them. You know, I'll often say, what if someone did that to your best friend? And sometimes they would be pissed, be like, no, you know, I'd be pissed off if they did that to my best friend. Well, then why is it okay if someone does that to you? So, you know, if you love yourself, then the toxic things will just automatically become evident and they will be, you know, unacceptable to you. And if you value yourself in an unhealthy relationship, well, if you value yourself, an unhealthy relationship will be just uninhabitable. Like you won't be able to do it. So please just love yourself. Excellent advice. I agree with a lot of what she said, which is surprising. So yeah, I really like her. All right, you guys, if you have any other clips or topics you'd like me to react to, please leave it in the comments. Any other like compilations of like relationship advice? I love hearing these things because this was really good, but some of them are terrible. So if you have any, send it my way. Thanks for watching. See you next time.